Joining us now, atop the NFC East, fresh off a 6-catch, 98-yard performance in the win for the Commanders against the Panthers, Terry McLaurin. Good to see you, Terry. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you doing?
You're more than good. So let's talk about it. How I know this is a silly question, but I'll ask it anyway. How does it feel different this year than previous years of you being with Washington, Terry?
Yeah, I think just from the first day that Coach Quinn got here, he really set an expectation of how we're going to come together as a team. But it wasn't even football oriented quite yet. It was really getting to know one another, spending time in the meeting rooms in the spring. Obviously, we had the Navy SEAL training, which I felt like really built some of our camaraderie. Just in different ways. And I think you see a group of guys who like to hang out with one another, even between practice, after practice. And then we get to the football field and the expectation of us being, Dan Quinn calls them BMS, which you probably know what that stands for. But it's a way of life, you know what I mean? Like he really preaches us like it's a standard that we were really trying to build here, and it's been great to be a part of it. And it's something like every week we don't have to get up for any game because we get up for them all. It's just how we get down, and I love that saying that he has because when hopefully you're playing for meaningful games in the late winter. You don't got to get up for those kind of games because this is what you've been doing all year. This is the mindset you have each and every day, and in practice as well.
So for those who might not know, Terry, Navy SEAL training? What? What? You did
Yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah. So we basically were. It was kind of just like team building. I don't know if people are familiar with those big logs that everybody that they carry sometimes in their training.
Sure.
And I think we probably like 7 to 10 different logs. We were broken up into groups, and there were some guys leading in the group, and then there were some guys that had to follow. But the main objective of it was like we had to listen to commands, and if one guy messed up, then everybody had to start over. Or if one guy was kind of not holding his end of the log, then the other guys on the other end are carrying more weight. You know what I mean? And little stuff like that really builds like the not only the communication but the trust because you're trusting that other guy to carry his weight. And I think little things like that really helped us get to know each other and kind of just break down the walls of sometimes more than just football. And I think it was been really good for us as we got started. But we have fun competing with each other. There's always competition going on in this building, and it's winner or loser. And I think a guy like myself loves that because you pretty much know where you stand each and every day. So I think it makes everybody better. Like I said, I think it allows us to come in on Sunday, and it's just what we do because we compete all week. We have a brotherhood all week, so when we go out there, that's the fun part.
Well, I just tossed my cookies thinking of that, just going through a training like that.
Yeah, it was kind of tough too.
I imagine. I mean, it did. And it's interesting that you refer to it as team building because that obviously does build a sense of team and relying on another teammate, et cetera.
Hmm.
And it's interesting that we have this conversation now because I would call what I saw in week 7 for your team a big team win. And I'm wondering if you can connect the two of what you just said to what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, I think it's just the standard, right? Like I was just trying to explain like the standard that we're trying to build where you see Jayden go down and you never want to see your starting quarterback go down. But when Marcus comes in and when he finally got in the rhythm, it's like we didn't miss a beat. We still put up 40 points. We still had a lot of room that we can improve, but there's a standard of offense that we want to play with in excellence. No matter who's back there at quarterback, no matter if I'm out there at receiver, the standard is the standard. And I think Cliff does a good job of echoing that each and every day. Guys who don't have the ball, you're going to finish down the field blocking for your teammates. You're going to be happy for guys who are getting the ball. You're going to do whatever it takes to help the team win. And I think when you see that offensively and then defensively, they did a great job creating turnovers yesterday. That gives us extra possessions. They even scored. Dante Fowler had an unbelievable game to show that athleticism. But you see guys just running, even on picks, you see those guys running to get blocks. It's just unselfishness that you play with. I think it's infectious. And then when you see the results on the scoreboard, it makes it even more fun. It kind of just drives home the point of we're building the right things right now. So we still have room to improve, which is the fun part. But I think you saw the commander identity, where we're going to be fast and physical. We're going to create turnovers, create explosive plays, and no matter who's in there, that standard's going to be set.
Terry McLaurin here on the Rich Eisen Show. What was it like, though, when you saw Jayden go out and Marcus come in? What was going through the collective mind, your mind, Terry?
Yeah, it's tough. You know what I mean? Like you especially a guy like Jayden, who you know is a competitor. So, you know, if he's out the game, it's something that obviously is going to raise a little concern. But he was in good hands with our medical staff. And it was just, you know, it kind of throws off your game plan a little bit. But one thing that I noticed that, you know, I play with multiple quarterbacks, and sometimes the game plan changes when your starting quarterback goes down. And for Marcus to come in and keep the exact same game plan, we were running the ball well and then using the play action and spreading them out vertically. The game plan didn't change when Marcus came in, and I think it's a testament to the preparation, the trust they have in him. But his veteran leadership since he's been here has been unbelievable. He's not only a great person, but he's a competitor. Does a great job connecting our group, and I know he's been great in the quarterback room for Jayden and his development. So for him to come in, like I said, we rally around him. I think my favorite part of the game was when we went in and got the 2 minute before half. Like we practice situations, some sort of situation every day at practice. And so for your quarterback, your backup quarterback to come in, he doesn't get the 2 minute reps with the ones. For us to come in and come get a touchdown, that's again the standard. Like no matter who's in there, we still expect to put points on the board before and got to have a situation. So I'm proud of the way that he came in, but I didn't expect anything different from Marcus. He's a great teammate, and you know, before Jayden even took over the starting reps in the spring, you know, him and I got some good work in, and he has a great rapport with the other guys, and the O-line is doing a great job protecting him as well. So, yeah, I think that it was just on display yesterday, and it just made it really fun. And then for the defense to be balling like that on Darrell Green Day, that place was rocking. So it was cool to be a part of that.
That said, not to turn you into my information man, but what can you tell us about Jayden and his health right now, Terry?
Yeah, I don't quite know yet, honestly. I just got in here and got a good lift in, get a sweat, try to start the rehab process to get back ready for next week. But good thing about it, we have a lot of great people in our medical staff that are taking great care of him. I know he's going to do whatever it takes to try to be ready this week, no matter what that looks like for him. Like I said, he's the ultimate competitor. He's a tough dude. He's going to put his body on the line for the team. Obviously, you know, we want him to be able to protect himself as much as possible. But he's a ball player, you know what I mean? And guys like that, we feed off of his energy. So I know he's in good hands, and he's going to do whatever it takes to try to be ready this week.
Well, especially since, you know, it's the Bears and that's Caleb Williams, and he was the guy taking over Jayden Daniels. You want to talk about being a competitor here, and that's all we in the media were talking about in Detroit for the draft, and certainly over the summer is these two guys. They're going to be connected at the hip for the rest of their careers, pretty much. So I'm sure he would like to be out there. And the belief that this team has, obviously, it was born through the training in the spring, as you mentioned, and the summer. But this kid and how he came out of the box, and how he's looked, and how he holds himself, right? Not just on the field, but in front of the media. Just the way he just carries himself is something else. And the moment that made me kind of realize that this was real was when he found you in the end zone in Cincinnati to send everybody home safely. You know,
100%.
You know what I mean? Like that could have been one of those moments. Well, we'll settle for a field goal, and then Joe Burrow can go down the field. No.
No
you
doubt.
guys ended the game, and I'm wondering
100%.
Did you feel that way yourself at that point?
That game, honestly, I think was a big part of the turning point for our offense, because leading up to that week, we kind of struggled a little bit in the red zone, kind of had some penalties. But on a big stage against a playoff caliber team that, you know, at the time they really needed a win, you know what I mean? And they were playing at their house. Their fans are unbelievable. And for us to, you know, go down and there's zero blitz in them, you know what I mean? Like, got to have it 3rd and 7, you know who's on the other sideline. And they kind of had some momentum, part of that game. For him and I to be on the same page and connect, you know what I mean? Coming off the sideline, we just basically called our shot. Cliff trusted us. The O-line blocked it up. J Mac picked up the blitz, and it was like that ball fell right in the breadbasket. And those are plays that, as a receiver playing this long, those are plays that you really bank in as a win for your offense, not only in the immediate term but long term, because not too many situations get more critical than gotta have a situation, zero blitz on Monday Night Football against a great team. So for us to connect, you can just see his poise throughout the entire game. You can see his confidence building. He wanted to get the calls in fast. And I just think, again, like you said, he hasn't carried himself like a rookie. When he first got here, when we drafted him in the spring, I was really taken back by the way he was able to come in within the first, really walk through and meeting practice and all that stuff. And he was calling the signals. He was knowing the plays. He knew the checks. And I'm like, that's pretty good for a guy who just kind of got introduced to the offense.
Yeah.
So it's no shock that he comes in early, he leaves late, he puts in all the time and the work, and there's no surprise why he's having success. And obviously, coming out of college, the experience that he had, playing at two different universities, and then finishing his Heisman career and at LSU, playing in the top competition. He came in ready to light the world on fire, but I think he has the confidence in his work. You know what I mean? That's why he comes out and he just plays at a high level because he puts the time and the work in, and he's very detail oriented and he's charismatic as well. So guys like playing with him because he plays with that chip and hunger inside of him.
And then just watching your reaction on the sideline after that moment, Terry,
Yeah.
and again, no offense to whoever was throwing you the ball in the first
Hmm.
5 seasons of your career. You looked like a guy like, yeah, I've got a guy.
Yeah.
I've got a
Yeah.
guy.
Hmm.
I can make plays. I got a guy who will let me make these plays, and I've got a team that is going to put me in these positions to be the man. I kind of felt that. You're nodding your head. Is that
Yeah,
it?
100%. Yeah, I think I've felt that for a while now, and I with Cliff coming in and DQ, and even with a new quarterback, I know I've been here, but I've always been with somebody that coming to each and every year. I want to earn my respect from my team, my coaches, the quarterback, and not feel like I got it all together. Oh, just throw me the ball. I think that's something that's earned each and every way, each and every week, each and every practice. And for him and I to start to connect, it gets really exciting because you see his ability to throw any ball on the field vertically, horizontally. He has great touch and accuracy. His anticipation is unbelievable. It gives you a chance to make plays on get yards after catch. And so like I said, that Cincinnati game, just to see his improvement over the courses of the first few weeks, I knew that was going to happen because he was showing it in practice. The defense would have a good day, or he may make a mistake, but the next day he wasn't making the same mistakes. And his ability to be able to extend plays with his legs, throw the ball, obviously, and yeah, him and I are definitely connecting. Even the tough loss to Baltimore, for us to be another guy to have it fourth down situation and we were on the same page. You threw a great back shoulder. Like those are things that build confidence between a quarterback and a receiver. And the great thing about Cliff is it seems like he's allowing him more and more to just release the reins. He's allowing him to be him. They're not stifling him. We have unbelievable weapons at our disposal from our running backs. So our tight ends got involved this week. Other receivers have been playing great. So it's a really collective effort. But it's definitely fun to see that him and I can definitely have room to continue to grow in our relationship. But early in the season, we're starting to connect, which is really fun and important. I'm having a lot of, you see me on the sideline, I'm having a ball.
Yeah. You could see it. Did it mean more
Yeah.
to you also that it happened in Ohio, Terry?
Um,
A little bit?
a little bit.
A little
I
bit?
think
Okay.
it's always great to be back in the state of
I know.
Ohio.
I know.
Obviously,
I know.
being a Buckeye at heart.
Hmm.
But I just think in that moment, like we live for those moments. And I know personally, I'm the ultimate competitor. So to go in on Monday Night Football against a good team, like I said, they really wanted that win. They needed that win, and it doesn't get too much tighter than third and seven. Got to have it. You don't want to get a field goal to give them the ball back. And Jayden and I were just on the same page. And I think him and I communicating and being able to execute it with a zero blitz. I think that. Like you say, you send everybody home safely with that because
Yes, you
when
did.
teams start zero blitzing you, you know what I mean? You start hurting them in that way. They kind of have to think twice. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean they'll never zero blitz us again, but they just got to think twice because you have an ability to hurt them with that quarterback and our playmakers on the outside. So there's definitely been some moments there, even last week, and we've had some moments where I'm just like. I'm excited to see how this thing can continue to grow as an offense and not just myself, but obviously having the guy that I feel like that you always want to build a rapport with. I think that's extremely exciting for me personally, but I just am so proud of the way that we're playing right now and continue to stay hungry and the way we're putting in the time and the work and the effort and practice, I think is really the reason why we're having success. And just trying to continue to minimize the mistakes and come out ready this week, you know what I mean, against a good Bears team that's coming off a bye week, so they'll be fresh, ready to go. But we're excited to play another game at home. I know it'll be rocking again. And it's a fun time to be a Commander and a Commander fan for sure.
Damn straight. Yeah, I mean, because again, before I let you go here, you know, a lot of people talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. and Olave and Jackson Smith and Jigba and Garrett Wilson. You're kind of the OG at this point. I know this is just year 6, but of the current crop of Buckeye receivers that keep on hitting this league, you know, you're kind of the OG. Terry.
Man, it's crazy. Rich, I'm not gonna lie. Like, hey, I'm like a young OG, not only there, but like in this building. You know, it goes by so fast, and I'm blessed to be in this situation that I'm in. And I learned a lot at Ohio State. I think it really prepared me for the league. And kind of towards my end, you can see the trajectory of the receivers going back up to where they used to be. You know what I mean? I think I'm not biased at all. I think wide receiver U belongs in Columbus. And I think just the depth, the longevity that we've had at that position, and then the way Heartline is taking it to the next level. You always want to leave the place you go into better than when you found it. And so we had a great group of guys my last year there, even learning from Michael Thomas and Devin Smith.
That's right.
My early years. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's always been receivers come out of Ohio State, but to see how they've taken it to the next level is like first rounder, and they're ready when they get to the league. And so, you know, I'm always cheering those guys on. I'm looking at their stacks. I'm talking to Heartline here and there. And you know, if you want to be a ready receiver for the NFL or just have a great career, play with great quarterbacks, Ohio State is definitely the place where you're going to get developed and be ready for the next level. So to be kind of like at the forefront of that and just be an ambassador, I think, like I said, I'm blessed to be in that situation. And you know, I'm a little bit more low key. I may not have all the flash, but I definitely put my time and work in. It's working out for me, man. So, yeah, it's good to be a part of wide receiver U and to be kind of like the OGs of somebody they could lean on and draw wisdom from. I'm always going to try to share that with them.
They're saying Geno Smith's cousin Jeremiah might be the best of them all. Terry,
hey, right? That's what I'm hearing.
Including you though. That's saying that right now.
Yeah, like my eyes don't lie. You know what I mean? And I think the biggest thing that I've noticed, like obviously the moment's not too big for him. He's gonna catch the ball better with one hand than he does two. And you can just see the natural God-given ability that he has. It's just different. Like everybody saw when Marv came in. It's like, okay, he's 6'4", he runs route like he's 6 feet. He's quick. He's fast. He has great hands, catch radius, all that. It's like they upgrade every year. You go Chris and then Olave, and then you got Chris, and then you got Garrett, and then you got Jackson, and even Emeka is having a great year as well. But Jeremiah Smith, I think the number one thing that is cool to hear come out of Columbus is his work ethic. A lot of 18-year-olds, especially nowadays, I'm not trying to sound like an old head, but you know, like, you know, there's a lot of things that are coming their way as young athletes in college with NIL and portal and just so many moving parts. To hear a guy who's coming straight out of high school who has his head on straight and is just a grinder. Like I know Coach Mick is grinning in the ear because Ohio State, they love guys who going to grind. The shine is going to come. You're playing in front of 100,000. You're going to play on TV. But a guy who puts the work in, keeps his head down, and no matter what his success looks like, it doesn't determine his work ethic. Those are things that I know that create longevity, and that's why a guy like that's going to be successful. You can't like he's blessed with 6'4", can run fast, like all that stuff, but you can't teach the work ethic in guys. And I think that's sometimes a missing ingredient. But when a guy like that has the talent and then the work ethic that I hear that he has, the sky's the limit. So I'm excited to see how he continues to develop along with the other guys, and hopefully we can get back on track this week.
Terry, thanks for the time. Really appreciate it. Hope this is the first of many. And congrats on everything that's gone on so far. I know it's we're marathoning, we're not sprinting, but 5-2 is pretty good. So
definitely,
you be well. Thanks for the time.
I appreciate it, Rich. Thank you, man.
Right back at you. You bet. That's Terry McLaurin of the current NFC East leading. That sounds pretty good. Washington Commanders at 5-2 right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern for free.